Hi, what do you say to someone, or what does that person say to its ever potential audience after that said YouTuber hasn't provided any content for over a year? I'll tell you. Well, funny thing is, my lovable friend and colleague Koala always said, as when we do our podcast, present tense, just to when we do our podcast, he always said my introduction was a tad too long. Do you know what? For old time's sake, to assure my ever faithful audience, it's still me. Hello, this is Dancing Bear, your autistic prince, the people's chosen, Lancashire's favourite son, the survivor of 2020, and as ever, your faithful YouTube provider, now and always. How are you? Hope you are all staying safe wherever you are, wherever you're currently residing. Now, this week has just exploded with nerd-like news. I hate that word, nerd, but nerd culture news. I had a spur of the moment thing as I'm recording this. I am going to try and encourage Koala. Nearly said his real name. Then let's keep our gimmick. I nearly said I think I'm going to message Koala after I've recorded this and encourage him to share his thoughts and talk about how he feels about the whole Marvel lawsuit. But for me, I'm going to my speciality, the show that holds so dear to my heart. And for those who are yet unaware, news has exploded that an old showrunner that brought Doctor Who back onto television, and not only did that, arguably brought it to mainstream, is returning to run the show yet again. Before I get into that, I think it's only fair that I should explain to our faithful audience and explain to them what's been going on and the reason why we haven't uploaded any content. But basically, to be brutally honest with you, I mean to say, as I'm recording this at the end of September 2021, it's just been a hectic year, and I think I can say for both of us. I think, I don't mind Koala will mind me speaking on his behalf that, as I'm still in, contact with him, I still communicate with him on a daily basis. However, it's just, life has just got in the way, and, we actually made it, it got brought up in conversation as I was speaking to him on the phone not that long ago, actually. And basically, it was, we hardly see much of each other, and we're trying to, put a break on that. So, without me babbling on, there is a point to this, and we are going to do everything in our power to start making podcasts starting from this week. So please, please, please keep an eye on that, and we will try and do that at least on a weekly basis. Now, let's get to the main topic of this video. Russel T Davies, for all those Doctor Who fans out there, is coming back to run the show. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Now, as a fan, I am over the moon. I am, what people need to realise is Russel T Davies brought the show back at a time when no one was interested in Doctor Who. He ran the show throughout Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant's entire run of the show when they were playing the Doctor. And so obviously, while that was going on, while Russel T Davies was running the show, I was growing up. I was still a teenager. So one could argue that there's a lot of nostalgia going into play there. However, personally speaking, I think Russel T Davies is renowned. I mean, I made a status on Facebook calling him a television god, and he is. He really is. For those who are unaware, he just made a groundbreaking series called It's a Sin. I think that came out earlier on this year. And Russel T Davies, I don't think it's no secret that he is, a good writer. And I think even saying a good writer is a bit of an understatement. He is a genius, and I don't use that word lightly. I only try at least to use that word when it's appropriate. In terms of creativity, Russell T Davies is a genius. Now, I do feel that it needs to be mentioned. Is there a chance that, I mean, let's be honest here, Doctor Who isn't what it was in terms of popularity, quality. It's up for debate, but let's be honest about this. Let's get to facts. Doctor Who is nowhere near as popular as when David Tennant was the Doctor. Now, if you cast your mind back 10 years at how popular Doctor Who was during Tennant's run compared to now, there's a gap. In terms of popularity, there is a huge gap. And I presented this argument before. Now, it's really weird because, unfortunately, the Doctor Who fan base is quite toxic now. Since Jodie Whittaker took over, since Chris Chibnall took over of the show. Now, when I say that, I'm not even going to go into the whole, was casting Jodie Whittaker right? Personally, I've got nothing against a female Doctor. I don't care what gender the actor / actress is. If you're a good actor and you're a good performer, that's all that matters to me. And to be quite frank, it's all that should matter to anybody. However, personally, I don't think. How can I word this? I just don't think people's willing to accept Jodie Whittaker, because I think personally Jodie Whittaker is a good actress. However, I just don't think the fan base was willing to accept a female actress yet, which is a shame. Now, it's really bizarre for me because I know a lot of my friends that are Doctor Who fans have this strained relationship with the show. Creatively, they're not with it. I don't think they're with Chibnall's vision of the show. So I think they're struggling to watch it, which is really bizarre because I feel I'm in the minority with what I'm about to say. For those who have known me a long time, for those who know me on a personal basis, I couldn't get into a lot of Stephen Moffat's Doctor Who, for those who are wondering what I mean by that. And that is during Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi's run of the show. Now, I think personally Stephen Moffat's creativity or lack thereof, or his vision of the show, however you want to word it, got better personally for me as a fan during Peter Capaldi's run. But personally, Stephen Moffat's vision of the show, I couldn't get behind. And it's the reason why I'm bringing this up, it's really weird because I'm seeing a lot of the fan base having this strained relationship with Chibnall. It was very similar to how I felt towards Stephen Moffat. And I suppose why that's ironic is because I felt like the odd man out. When Matt Smith took over, and I'll be honest with you, I'm only bringing it up now, and I think it's even more valid because I've tried to rewatch a lot of Matt Smith's stuff. Some of it's remarkable, but a lot of the storylines, a lot of the plots, I just couldn't sink my teeth into. And I just really struggled getting behind. I find myself a lot of the time, when I'm watching especially Doctor Who Season 6, when I'm watching an episode of Matt Smith, I'm on my phone a lot. And I think personally that there is a difference in quality. I'm getting sidetracked again, I realise that, but I think this point is equally as valid. You watch a David Tennant episode side by side and then watch a Matt Smith episode. I just think in terms of quality, there's a big difference. There's a huge difference. And not necessarily as a bad thing. I think personally it lacks in comparison to Russell T Davies era Doctor Who, David Tennant Doctor Who. I do personally think it lacks when I watch it. But in terms of quality, I think a lot of people would actually agree with me. If you watch a David Tennant episode and Matt Smith side by side, in terms of quality, it's very much lacking. Now, which is an awful shame, because Matt Smith and a lot of the team, in terms of production around Stephen Moffat's era, like from season 5 onwards, very talented team. Karen Gillan, the talented actress. Matt Smith, wonderfully talented actor. I don't think anyone can dispute that. Peter Capaldi was a very talented actor. But I just think the entire era, the theme Stephen Moffat was going for, I just couldn't get behind. Personally, me as a fan, I couldn't sink my teeth into. Now, there was a point to this. The irony is, I'm in the minority again. Because everyone's slagging off Chris Chibnall, everyone's slagging off Jodie Whittaker, which is a shame, if you ask me. And I feel like I'm the only one who actually enjoys Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, this current era of the show. I enjoy it. I really do. I think there's been the occasional episode where it's been way up. Not the best episode, and it's certainly never been my top 10 favourite. But personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I like this era damn sight more than I ever did Stephen Moffat's. Now, the point I'm trying to get at is, when I heard about Russell T Davies returning to the show, I wasn't in the minority anymore, because I, alongside so many other fans, was so glad to hear this, to know that, you know, that the show's coming back into Russell T Davies's hands. Now, I've heard a lot of speculation on YouTube, because I go on YouTube like all the time, and there's still some cynicism. So anyone who's watching this who might be a bit cynical, let me try and comfort you, because a lot of people are saying, when Russell T Davies left way back in 2009, 2010, you know, it's been 11 years, and his vision of what the show was then could be completely different to what his vision of the show is now. Very valid argument, because people change. You gotta look at it from this perspective. Who you were as a person today and who you were as a person 11 years ago, guarantee you, pretty much two completely different people. However, what I want to say that could potentially comfort you if you are having similar thoughts is, this guy is still bringing quality stuff to the table. It's a Sin, brilliant stuff. There is other things, I know. I promise you it was at the top of my head. But when you look at the entirety of this man's career, this guy, 9 times out of 10, brings top-notch stuff. Second Coming, for any die-hard Doctor Who fan, worth his salt. I strongly recommend to you to watch a film that Russell T Davies made, and it is the film, arguably, that if you believe the rumours, that Russell T Davies was convinced that Christopher Eccleston was the guy to bring back Doctor Who, and he's the main character in Second Coming as well. But this guy brings quality stuff all the time. He's not always spot on. He's not always on the ball. But you produce to me a writer who is. And I think it's very comforting personally as a fan to know that this guy who still brings mainstream television on the table today, 11 years after leaving Doctor Who, is very comforting to me, and I hope it comforts you as well. So yeah, I just needed to get all that off my shirt, and to be honest with you, I feel so much better. There was something I was going to bring up, but you know, that annoying moment where you just go zoom. So I think that's all. I hope everyone who's watching this is looking after themselves. I am so sorry I haven't uploaded any recent content. I am nearly at the 15-minute mark. So I realise that I've probably, with this video, I've just been waffling on. But in a lot of ways, you know, I'm just letting everyone know I'm okay. And Koala's okay too. And I'm going to try and convince him to upload a video as well, because I'm interested. I was just talking to him about it yesterday. His thoughts on the whole Marvel lawsuit, which isn't looking brilliant. So I hope everyone out there is keeping safe. Dancing Bear out.